Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Real Madrid have put Gabriel Jesus on list to replace Karim Benzema. Arsenal fans will be concerned to hear of reports claiming that star striker Gabriel Jesus is being watched by Spanish giants Real Madrid. Jesus has enjoyed a superb start to life as an Arsenal player. Since moving to the club in the summer, the Brazilian has led the line for Mikel Arteta's side that coincided with stunning results which have seen Arsenal top the Premier League. However, according to Defensa Central, Jesus is one of the players on Madrid's radar right now. It comes as it's claimed Los Blancos are looking into long-term replacements for star striker Karim Benzema. The Frenchman is currently missing the World Cup through injury. Now 34, there is a growing acknowledgement at the Bernabeu that the club need to look for a replacement. Jesus, it seems, is among the names being considered. Madrid are also thought to be keen on PSV forward Cody Gakpo, while Tottenham striker Richarlison is also said to be of interest. No way Arsenal will sell Jesus to Real Madrid, that is unless he fancies the move and Madrid go up more than £100 million in the process. Right now, Jesus is too important for the Gunners to even remotely consider a sale. When you talk about game-changing signings, Jesus is one of them. He's taken Arsenal to a level they previously thought was way off. As it stands, he is initially leading them to the Premier League title. Described as frightening by Jack Grealish, the Brazilian is more than proven in England. Of course, you can never say never in football, but Jesus seems a good fit at Arsenal, and despite Madrid's obvious lure, it would be a huge surprise to see this one even gather any legs. Tomiyasu is feeling fully fit and prepared to face Croatia. With the ongoing injury problems that Takehiro Tomiyasu has had at Arsenal for the whole of this year, and a recurrence just before the World Cup started, we was worried that Tommy would be overplayed in Qatar and not be back to help Arsenal challenge for the Premier League title, but Tommy played the second half against Germany and helped Japan to a shock win, and then he played 20 minutes in the bigger shock of beating Spain to send Japan through the knockouts. They ended up by topping the group and have earned a last 16 knockout against Croatia, and Tomiyasu hinted that he is now ready to play the full 90 minutes as Japan aimed to go even further than they could have possibly dreamed. Tomiyasu told The Sun, "I'm playing in the Premier League, so I was able to show what I can do on a day-to-day basis. I think I can do even better. I was able to play over 20 minutes and it was a good conditioning adjustment." That will be great boost for Japan, and even better for Arsenal fans that our star defender has not got a serious injury. Good luck to our very own samurai warrior. Saka to return to the England team despite the form of Rashford and Foden. Bukayo Saka was rested in England's third group game of the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup after starting the first two for the Three Lions. The youngster has emerged as one of his country's key men in recent seasons and played an important role in the run to the final of Euro 2020. England hopes to build on that appearance by winning the World Cup, and Saka is already showing he will contribute. The Three Lions will face Senegal next in the round of 16, and the fine form of Marcus Rashford and Phil Foden in the game against Wales has given Southgate a headache. However, The Athletic reveals it does not mean Saka will be benched against Senegal. They write, "There is a reasonable case that the performances by Rashford and Foden against Wales make them undroppable. That doesn't, however, mean that Bukayo Saka has to miss out. It is entirely possible to put together a starting 11 that includes all three." Saka arguably hasn't done anything to warrant being dropped. He was man of the match on his World Cup debut, scoring twice against Iran. He looked full of confidence that day, buoyed by Arsenal's excellent start to the Premier League season. Saka is now one of England's most trusted men, and we expect him to be in the team to face Senegal after being rested in the last match. The youngster has always delivered for his country, and he could be the difference maker in the match against the African champions. What Swiss media made of Arsenal star Granit Xhaka's World Cup display versus Serbia? Arsenal star Granit Xhaka delivered a World Cup masterclass as he helped Switzerland to the last 16 of the competition. The Gunners ace won the Man of the Match award for his efforts against Serbia on Friday night. Recent meetings between Switzerland and Serbia have been fiercely contested and at times controversial. 4 years ago, at the 2018 World Cup, Xhaka and Shaqiri celebrated their goals against Serbia with a double eagle gesture. The symbol represents the eagle on Albania's national flag. As BBC Sport reported at the time, critics say it could inflame tensions among Serbian nationalists and ethnic Albanians. Friday's match also saw tensions flare as both sides sought to reach the latter stages of the tournament. Switzerland and Serbia played out an exciting match, with the Arsenal powerhouse side running out 3-2 winners. The result saw the Swiss make the knockout stages, while Serbia were eliminated from the competition, and the Emirates Stadium star's efforts saw him earn plaudits aplenty from the Swiss media. Bluin gave Xhaka 7 out of 10 for his performance. The Swiss team's metronome again dictated the pace, they wrote. 4 years after the affair of the double-headed eagle in Russia, the captain of the Nati this time knew how to manage his emotions and showed great calm throughout the meeting. Even the Serbian provocations at the end of the match did not disturb him in his mission. He was voted man of the match. Le Matin also gave the Arsenal star 7 out of 10 for his efforts. He's still the boss on the pitch, they wrote. And when Switzerland were down 2-1, it showed. He reorganized the team live as a conductor. Downside, his altercation with the Serbs. La Liberty, meanwhile, went with 5 out of 6 for Xhaka. And suddenly, seemingly bursting in the sky, a black eagle soars, they wrote. An exemplary captain, resistant to any provocation. Brazilian media reacts to Arsenal star Gabriel Martinelli's first start for Brazil at World Cup. Arsenal star Gabriel Martinelli got his first start for Brazil in Friday night's World Cup meeting with Cameroon. The Gunners' ace has enjoyed a sensational rise to the highest levels of the game this year. Martinelli is now one of the first names on Mikel Arteta's Arsenal team sheet. His efforts for the Gunners were subsequently rewarded with a call-up to Brazil's squad for Qatar. Martinelli made his Seleção debut earlier this year, coming on against Chile in a World Cup qualifier in March, and last week, the 21-year-old made his first World Cup appearance as a substitute against Serbia. Martinelli then sat out the win over Switzerland as Brazil made it 2 wins out of 2 in their group. With the qualification already secured, Seleção boss Tite gave the Arsenal ace his first start for his nation in their final group game, and Martinelli impressed despite the match-changed Brazil team falling to a late 1-0 defeat against Cameroon. The Brazilian media liked what they saw from the Gunners' prodigy. Jogada 10 gave Martinelli a 7.5 out of 10 rating and deemed him the best player for his nation. Best in Brazil on the pitch, they wrote. He was the author of the most dangerous submissions of the Brazilian team and showed that he can be used more. Correro Brazilians also went with 7.5 out of 10. The highlight of the Brazilian performance in the group stage, they wrote, the quality of dribbling, speed and finishing power drew attention. He created chances down the left and almost scored a great goal with a placed kick. Globo, meanwhile, went with a very respectable 7 out of 10 rating for Martinelli. He had a good first half, they wrote, in a header and in a finish in which he sowed all of Cameroon's defense to the middle. He made Brazil's main finishes. He also started and tried to find Jesus in the middle in a good attempt on the left. Martinelli lost his boot on another ball that ended in Antony's submission. He finished perfectly from the angle, but the goalkeeper made another great save at the start of the second half. Arsenal loanee Nuno Tavares slated for recent displays. Arsenal loanee Nuno Tavares has been criticized by Marseille consultant Jean-Charles Dibon on Football Club de Marseille. The 62-year-old says he was pleasantly surprised by the Gunners' fullback at first. However, he has since completely disappeared. Di Bono says he now understands better why Arsenal are lending him out. He also challenged Tavares to recover and improve his qualities. The 22-year-old struggled in his maiden campaign at Arsenal last season, looking defensively vulnerable at times. The most notable example was when he came off during the first half of their FA Cup defeat to Nottingham Forest. With Alexander Zinchenko joining the Gunners this summer, the decision was made for Tavares to go out on loan. He joined Marseille, the club where Saliba honed his skills ahead of his Arsenal breakthrough. Tavares initially did really well at the Ligue 1 club, but he hasn't hit those same heights in recent weeks, and Bono, speaking on Football Club de Marseille, didn't pull any punches, he said. I didn't really know him when he arrived. I was waiting to see him, and I was pleasantly surprised by his quality of speed, dribbling, crosses, and shots. I said to myself, he is really the right choice. We don't have an option to buy him. Maybe it's no sense, but in the end, no. Because in the end, he played 4 very, very good games and then he completely disappeared. And I understand better why Arsenal are lending him out. I am waiting to see how he will behave when he starts again. It's up to him to recover and prove his qualities. There is one thing that could upset his partners, and that is that he plays for his own sake. He plays to get himself burned, and that can put the team in trouble. When Olympique Marseille had defensive problems, it was also because the Pistons were not good and put in difficulty the last 3. He can put a whole defensive block off balance. That is what he has to understand too. Arteta now wants Arsenal to sign Marco Asensio. Arsenal remain keen on signing Real Madrid winger Marco Asensio, according to reports coming from Italy. Calciomercato Web claims that AC Milan and Juventus are keen on signing Asensio if they can. However, it also adds that Arsenal are in the mix and claims Mikel Arteta wants to see him in an Arsenal shirt right away. Asensio has already got himself on the score sheet over in Qatar at the World Cup. The Spanish star scored 1 of 7 as Luis Enrique's side hammered Costa Rica in the opening game of the group stages. Of course, links to Asensio are nothing brand new here. Previous reports have seen the Gunners along with Liverpool and Tottenham both linked with a move for the Madrid ace. Asensio has been a star for Madrid in recent years and has won it all. He has been part of 3 Champions League winning squads and has got his hands on the La Liga title the same amount of times. However, he has dropped down the pecking order under Carlo Ancelotti and has started just once this season. Arsenal, meanwhile, are known to be keen on making new signings in January. Asensio is among a number of players the Gunners are said to be keen on. It takes a good player to make an improvement to this current Arsenal team, but Marco Asensio is certainly someone who can bring the level up. Much like Jesus and Zinchenko, Asensio comes from a winning environment, and that in itself can be a massive plus. Not only that, but this is a player who has undoubted quality. He offers goals and assists and in general is a big threat in the final third. Dubbed extraordinary for his ability, it is easy to see why the Gunners would want him. Arsenal must now beat competition from Real Madrid to sign World Cup star Cody Gakpo. Cody Gakpo has now emerged as one of the most sought after players in the world after his stunning performance at the World Cup for the Netherlands. The attacker was close to leaving PSV in the summer, and Arsenal was interested in a move for him. However, the Gunners were not so keen to make him one of their players, and he did not leave the Netherlands, despite interest from Leeds United and Manchester United as well. Gakpo's form at the World Cup means more clubs will now be interested in him, and a report on Defensa Central says he could be the World Cup star that moves to Madrid. This means Arsenal is now competing with the European giants to ensure he joins them, but their task has just become harder than it has ever been. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.